And let's take a bit of time talking about how you might use the Elastic Stack and our commercial plugins, the XPack, to deliver security analytics within your organization. The Elasticsearch open source components feature Beats, Logstash, Elasticsearch, and Kibana. These can be used to really give you a true insight into your data, all the way through the collection phase with Beats, processing phase with Logstash, storage and analyzation phase with Elasticsearch, and finally the visualization stage through the Kibana interface. We offer our commercial plugins through a solution called the XPack. This is a number of plugins that wrap around the open source software to provide you greater value, better insight into your data, whilst allowing you to be more enterprise ready, delivering true functionality across the enterprise, whilst meeting compliance requirements, security requirements, and greater value across the board. The Elastic Stack and XPack can be used to deliver a wide range of functionality across a number of different use cases within any particular business. Today, however, we're going to focus on the security analytics use case and show how the XPack and Elasticsearch deliver real value. The Elastic Stack is a very scalable solution to allow many users across many different functions within the business to have their own view of the data. Now, in this particular context, we're looking at it from the perspective of a security analyst and how they might be able to look at what might be terabytes or petabytes of data in real time. And the Elastic Stack is there to deliver that functionality, to allow you to query that data in real time, to draw true value and information out of that data so that you're able to do your job in a better and more efficient way. The key features I want to focus on today in the XPack functionality are the alerting, the brand new anomaly detection, the graph exploration, and then to identify the fact that as we've got such a rich seam of data, we want to provide role-based access control to that data. The demonstration I want to walk through today is a DNS exfiltration of data. This is where a malicious user has gained access to a system and is using the DNS system to extract data held within your infrastructure. You can see that I've received an email from the XPack alerting functionality built within the XPack. It's identified a potential DNS exfiltration of data using the inbuilt XPack and machine learning tool. It's given me the details of the server and the server that it's coming from and the size of the anomaly. All anomalies are scored out of 100. Now, if I click on that link, it'll take me through and into the Kibana interface so I can have a greater in-depth look at the data. Here I am inside the machine learning interface within Kibana. We can see that I've got a nice breakdown of the top domains that machine learning has been assessing and any sort of influences or anomalies that have been identified. We can see that there's a maximum anomaly score for this vodka.ru domain. So if I come over here, you can see the red box that's highlighting the anomaly. It's highlighting that it's a high value anomaly. So I can click on that to get more information. As I come down here, we can see that the domain vodka.ru has been identified as potentially conducting a DNS exfiltration attack. Some details on the time, why it was listed, the typical value, the current value, and the probability of this occurring. You can see it gives you a very clear view into what's going on in the data. I can then use the anomaly to identify and potentially link me into other parts of the Kibana interface where I might be able to view and understand the data in more detail. So I'm going to click on that link now and go to the next stage. Here we are in a Kibana dashboard that we've been linked to from the machine learning tool. We can see that it's been filtered according to the server that the anomaly, the exfiltration was occurring on, and we can very quickly see here visually that there are some significant events that may have influenced that DNS exfiltration, and that allows us very quickly to identify things that we might want to look into further. So we can see here that we've got this huge spike in failed SSH attempts. We can see geographically where those attempts have come from. We can see there's very much a large focus on the US and the Russian Federation. And as we come down here, we can see that this initial vodka.ru that was identified earlier has a significant number of subdomains, way beyond anything else that we're seeing, and would lead us very much to identify that as a potential threat and something that we'd want to investigate further. Now I'm going to click on this graph analysis tool to show you some of the graph capabilities that we have within XPack and how they might be used to continue this investigation. Here I am in the graph interface within Kibana. This is a way to look at the connections that are within my data, and I'm following on from the previous dashboard slide where we identified this vodkarooms.ru and the connection between this server. We can see those number of those connections and how thick that connection is based on the thickness of the line. Now, what I want to have a look at is whether there are any other connections that are not currently highlighted within the data set. So I can click on this and start to really dig into and analyze any additional connections that sit within the data. We can see the vulkaroom.ru that we identified earlier. We've got the server 101 that we identified. But I've got these two other users, a Mike P and Aswari, who were identified as using vulkaroom.ru. We can also identify that those two users are very much focused on this victoryartbrew.com domain as well. That would lead me to have some idea that potentially there's an additional domain, DNS, that has crept into the system, and that's probably somewhere that I want to focus my investigation further. Well, I hope that gives you a very good overview of what's going on in the Elastic Stack and how we can use that from a security perspective. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the security analytics demo. I hope you found it of interest. We'd love to spend the time to go into some of the components in a bit more detail, show you some of the wider use cases from a security analytics perspective. If you think that's of interest, please contact us at any of the links below. Thank you again for your time.